I investigated the longest grinds in OSRS, and yes guys, I'm farming some temporals on the side while reacting. I'm not losing XP here, but let's watch this video.
Ever spent 41 days straight doing the same thing in a video game? Most people—
Yes, I have spent 13 weeks doing the same thing, grinding for rank 14 in Classic WoW. 18 hours per day, by the way.
People would call that insane. Old school RuneScape players call it Tuesday. OSRS isn't just a game, it's a commitment. A marathon of clicks, calculations, and often soul-crushing bad luck. We're talking about grinds that can literally take years of real-world time. You didn't mishear that. I mean actual years. To some people, this may sound like a nightmare. But to the old school RuneScape community, it's just part of the game. That's just the—
I will say, chat, I love old school RuneScape, okay? I think it's really fun. But goddamn, this game is a literal constant FOMO simulator. You feel like you can always grind something or always work on something. It is so bad. It is extremely FOMO. It's so horrible, man. But it's also a great game, though.
The kind of nightmarish insanity that a lot of us have come to love. Speaking of nightmares, let's talk about our first grind, Phosani's Nightmare. It has some of the longest grinds old school RuneScape has to offer. If you take a look at the drop table, the drop rates—
Inquisitors.
The drop rates are really bad. They used to be so much worse too. Jagex buffed the drop rates nearly by double in May of 2024 for the orbs. The orbs used to have an insane drop rate of 1 in 3,000. The new—
What? But okay, guys. I don't know what you need those orbs for. I don't know what they're used for. I don't even know what that boss is. But that seems like a little bit of a crazy drop rate, though. No?
Drop rate is currently 1 in 1,600 for each orb, and there's 3 orbs to get. Okay, but what are these impossible to get orbs for? There's the harmonized, eldritch, and volatile orbs. These orbs are used to upgrade the nightmare staff, which is also dropped from Phosani's Nightmare. The different versions of the staff are all a little different, with the harmonized being the most popular for PPM. If you wanted just one of the orbs, you'd have to kill Phosani 1,600 times just to hit the drop rate. At about 6.5 kills an hour, that would take you a massive 250 hours to hit that 1,600 KC mark. And that's with best in slot gear.
I mean, you know, ultimately, chat, it's 50-50, right? Because either you get it or you don't. So you just get lucky.
Phosani's Nightmare decided to be a real nightmare, and you went 4 times the drop rate, you'd find yourself there for over 1,000 hours.
Oh god.
1,000 hours. That's 41 days, about 6 weeks of actual real-world playtime. You'd have around a 1.8% chance of spending 6 weeks with the Nightmare if you're going for a specific orb. If you played 6 hours a day, it would take 23 weeks for those 1,000 hours. Just imagine too, without the previously mentioned buff, all of this would have been twice as bad. The one and only saving grace to this is that Phosani is currently around 8 million GP an hour, so you'd likely become 8 billion GP richer during the grind.
What? Maybe I should farm this for gold. I mean, okay, that's probably gonna take a while before I can get there, though, but—
Be able to afford so much dream gear with that 8 billion GP. Just imagine pulling up to the GE with your full Masori and Twisted Bow, or your full Ancestral with Tumakan's Shadow. Okay, it's not as glamorous as you'd think, but you'd definitely be a beast in the game. And while we're talking about beasts, the Corporal Beast, like its name suggests, is quite a beastly monster. Corp was released in 2008 during the RS2 era of RuneScape. Corp used to be extremely lucrative back then. You just needed to be able to afford the insanely expansive Zamorakian Spear and Carol's Armor. Those items were a hard requirement to roll with the big boys. Suffice it to—
this gear looks so funky, man. What is that helmet? That's an annoying boss? Okay. Interesting.
To say I was always too poor to play with the big boys. I used to rock something like this back in the day. If memory serves, the spear used to cost 30 million plus GP. Some of you definitely remember that, right? What's this video about again? Oh, right. Corp isn't a great moneymaker these days with a measly 2 million GP an hour, But the
Bro,
pet
that's
is
a
why
lot.
the Corporal Beast makes this list. If you want the pet, you're looking at the daunting drop rate of 1 in 5,000 for the pet Dark Core. If you can manage to kill Corp 10 times in an hour, grinding 5,000 kills would take you 500 hours. That's twice as bad as Phosani's orb grind. If you grinded Corporal Beast for 3 hours a day and went 4 times over the drop rate for the pet, that's 20,000 kills, it would take you just under 2 years. That's absurd. It's crazy.
Bro, I looked up the stats of like the top hardcore Iron Man. Because something I farm a lot, you guys can see here, I'm farming Temporos right now while reacting, right? While watching this video here. And I was like, okay, I've done like, I think I've done like 40 Temporos runs. And I'm like, okay, I farmed it a decent amount. Then I looked up the top hardcore Iron Man. I'm a hardcore Iron Man, by the way. The top hardcore Iron Man in the game currently. He has killed Temporos 18,000 times. 18,000 times. Each Temporos run, if you do it with a bunch of people, is around 5 minutes. How much is that? Let me get my Lammerreiner. 18,000 times 5. That's 90,000 minutes. Divided by 60, that's 1,500 hours. And that's just one little thing he's done, like a side thing. Dude, people are crazy. RuneScape players are built different.
Crazy. I did some digging and I found this horror story. This guy killed Corp 36,000 times. 36,000 times for a pet. Have you ever gone super dry like this? Let me know in the comments, because that is crazy. Okay, so the Corporal Beast pet grind is pretty bad, but how does it rank amongst the other pet grinds?
Okay.
It looks like it's right next to the second longest pet grind, which is, of course, the Barbarian Assault Penance Queen pet. Okay. If you got 2 high gambles an hour, it would take 500 hours for the BA pet. However, what takes so long to get the pet is the fact that there's tons of downtime between games.
Yeah, okay.
If you tack on the time between games, it could easily take 750 to 1,000 hours to get the pet. But I'm sure you're wondering, what's the longest pet grind if the Penance Queen is only the second longest? Well, I'll tell you. But real quick, I just want to say thank you for the support on this channel so far. If you aren't subscribed already, do it right now. If you do, you'll get great old school RuneScape content just like this, and I'll try not to take a month between uploads. No promises, though. Pets truly are a test of patience and sanity, but the longest pet grind goes to the Bloodhound without a doubt.
So I'm normally a WoW player, obviously, but so it's pets, that's like it's like farming mounts in WoW, right? But like, I guess just way more grindy, I suppose. That's like the way of showing your prestige, I suppose. Pits are the mounts. Okay, yeah, it's like having cosmetics, essentially. They don't really have a purpose, but they're just to show that you have no life. Constantly sus, thank you for the prime. Okay.
You have a chance to get the Bloodhound pet from Master Clues, and currently the fastest way to get Master Clues without breaking the bank is by killing Callisto in the Deep Wilderness with a 10-man team. That'll get you about 100 Callisto kills an hour. You'll probably be going at a pace of 1 Master Clue completed every 50 minutes. Which means it'll take you a ridiculous 833 hours of grinding. On paper, at least. Callisto being in the Deep Wilderness, needing a 10-man team, and all the stuff associated with that means that it will probably take much longer. Without the Callisto method, which most people won't be able to do, it's easily over 1,000 hours. But our next grind is for an item very few people even ever end up grinding to begin with. It's typically an item you just kind of hope to get along the way. Estimates for obtaining it under the most ideal conditions range from 50 hours to 150 hours of grind time. That doesn't even sound that bad, right? I mean,
that's not that bad.
Compared to the other things we've talked about so far, that's nothing.
Yeah.
But getting into the ideal conditions and staying in them is what can make this grind take so unbelievably long. I'm talking about the Imbued Heart.
How do you guys know?
If we just looked at grinding Abyssal Demons, you'd have to kill over 70,400 Abyssal Demons to be on drop rate with no elite combat achievements. If you're skilled enough to have the elite combat achievements, you'll need to kill 52,800. That basically means you'll need between 8 million to 10 million Slayer XP. And that should sound like a lot, because that's a lot. A ridiculous amount. You only have a chance to get the Imbued Heart by killing Slayer monsters on task. In between tasks, you'll need tutorial skip, you'll need to make cannonballs if you're an iron, you'll probably want barrage runes or blighted ice stacks, Basically, you'll need to do lots of side grinds for the main grind to get the imbued heart. That's why this is definitely one of the longest grinds in the game, and very few people even attempt it.
So is the heart, that's for the whip, right? Is that to get the whip or what? Or is the heart something else completely? No, magic boost. It's for a magic buff. Ah. Okay. Whip is 520 drop rate. Okay, so the whip is kind of actually like unironically easy to get. Oh, okay. It's Biz magic boost when it's upgraded. Okay.
The only people who really do are irons or collection loggers.
I'm an Iron Man.
If you look at the Slayer collection log tab, where the imbued heart can be found, it's actually not even the longest Slayer grind. The longest Slayer grind definitely goes to the full Dusk Mystic robes.
Full Dusk.
To get the full set, you'll need the boots, hat, gloves, body, and legs. That's 5 pieces in total.
Why is that robe kind of zesty? What is this, bro? Hey, yo.
Pieces in total. Each piece has a chance of 1 in 1,000 from Brimstone chest. To open the Brimstone chest, you'll need to get Brimstone keys. These keys can only be obtained while on a Slayer task from Konar. The expected drop rate to get a full Dusk Mystic set is currently 2,283 Brimstone keys. According to this YouTube video, it took this guy 72 hours to get 200 keys, or about 3 keys an hour. To get a full Dusk Mystic set at this pace, it would take you about 821 hours just to get a fancy version of some mid-game gear. It'd take you—
It's not even— Dude, RuneScape players are freaks. Listen, I play RuneScape as well myself now, but goddamn, dude. What's up, Nomson?
You less time to grind the GP to just buy them from the Grand Exchange.
It's trash gear? Yeah, but people get it so they can sit at the Grand Exchange and flex. That's literally it. It's straight up just a flex thing. It doesn't matter if it's good. If it's rare, people are wanna get it. You know, it's the same thing with WoW, dude. Like, mounts can be, it can be the ugliest mount ever, but if it's rare, it's cool. You know? God damn it, dude.
This grind is just something cloggers or grinders might do for fun. To them for doing the grinds we won't do and then selling me my Dusk on the GE. Thanks, guys. This next grind isn't for chickens. By that, I mean chickens of insane grinds. I think you'd have to be crazy, insane, maybe even evil to pull off this grind. The evil chicken outfit is obtained by using bird eggs on the shrine in the woodcutting guild. There's only a 1 in 1,200 chance of getting a specific piece of the outfit. There's 4 pieces in total to get: the hat, legs, torso, and boots. It's such a long grind, it's even a meme in the extreme one chunk community. The people who do absolutely insane grinds, like killing 500,000 men and women in Lumbridge for 99 defense, think
people don't do that. Like, no, you're like, nah. You're a freak if you do that. Limpverd? People, but since I started watching Swamplytics, we've been watching the Swamplytics series, people keep mentioning this Limpverd guy. Is he worse than Settled?
this grind is too much. The expected amount of bird eggs you'll need to offer to the shrine for the full outfit is 2,500 eggs.
Yes?
There's 4 potential sources of bird eggs. If you cut willow trees and collect bird nests, it would take over 19,000 hours. That's just over 2 years of your life. Welcome to the evil chicken prison. Just
for a chicken outfit in a game, dude.
For a little perspective, that's like watching the full Lord of the Rings trilogy extended edition 1,652 times. But there are other ways to get bird eggs.
Dude.
It takes about 12,000 birdhouse runs to get the evil chicken set.
Dude, I went to this freaking fossil island and my chat, you guys went crazy. Ah, boba, birdhouse. Ah, boba, birdhouse. Birdhouse, birdhouse. Apparently that's like the meta island, yeah.
Doing about 10 birdhouse runs a day, it'll take you a measly 3 years and 3 months. But there's an even slower way to get bird eggs. By managing your kingdom of miscellanea at maximum efficiency, it would take between 25 and 27 years to get enough bird eggs. That's completely insane, I know, but this method is pretty passive. I'm 26. It would take—
What do you mean? Mordial says, I really want to talk shit, but I played WoW and I farmed Uldaman. I mean, ultimately, chat, is this a fucked up thing? Is this crazy? Yes, but if they're having fun, more power to you, man. If you're enjoying it, great. That's awesome.
Basically the entirety of my lifespan up until now to get this silly chicken costume. I hate that my parents didn't make me start this grind straight out the womb. The fastest way to get bird eggs is through forestry though. The wiki doesn't provide enough information on chances, and event chances are so variable that this calculation is difficult, but it looks like maybe 1 to 2 bird eggs every hour is the rate you'd be looking at with forestry.
Okay.
If you know how many eggs you can get an hour with forestry, let me know. You can combine all 4 methods, so willows, birdhouse runs, managing your kingdom, and forestry for maximum efficiency here. This might put you at around 4 eggs an hour. That's still 625 hours to grind for the 2,500 eggs.
In your opinion, what's more for grind, WoW or OSRS? It's not even a comparison, bro. Like, it's not even in the same universe of grind. It's not, like... RuneScape is way grindier. There's no way. Yeah, it's RuneScape 100%. I mean, I've done one of the more tedious grinds in WoW, which is rank 14, right? And then apart from that, it's like Scarab Lord. But like for rank 14, I had to play 18 hours per day for 3 months straight with no breaks, right? And that was fucked up. That shit was disgusting. But what made that grind disgusting was the fact that I couldn't take breaks, right? But these hours are just way crazier than that.
God, Chicken Prison isn't out here serving life sentences.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered one of the most insane grinds this game has to offer. But there are 5 capes in this game which demonstrate a massive time investment. There's the Xerix Champion Cape, completed by doing 2,000 Challenge Mode Champion of Xerix raids. There's the Sinhaza Shroud 5, completed by doing 2,000 TOB raids, regular or hard. There's the
Theater of Blood. Yeah, I know this one. I don't know CMS, but I know TOB.
Laren's Shroud 5, completed by doing 2,000 TOA raids, regular or expert. The 1,000-win LMS cape, and the max cape. It's difficult to say which one of these capes takes the longest.
I feel like this is the coolest cape in the game, no? Like the max cape, that feels like that's the ultimate juice, right? I need you to promise me something. What is it, Mordial? What do I gotta promise you? Loads of people have it. Inferno cape? Is that really that hard? I need to promise you that I will never do any of these grinds. I don't think I'm gonna do it. No, these grinds are crazy. This is insane. Alright.
But the grinds that take the least amount of time are likely the TOA cape or the TOB cape.
Okay.
The wiki says you can complete 3 regular TOA or 3 regular TOBs an hour, so those capes can be obtained in about 667 hours. That's nothing, right? The longest cape, though, is definitely up for debate. Depending on who you ask, it could be the Xerix Champion Cape, the 1,000-win LMS Cape, or the Max Cape. Getting 2,000 challenge mode completions and maxing an account are both about the same amount of time.
I feel like Max Cape you can kind of cheese though, right? Because if you're just rich IRL, you can just buy it with money, right? So yeah, it's cheesable.
At near maximum efficiency, assuming you can do 30-minute CM runs, it'll take around...
Not if you're Iron Man, that is true. Yeah.
1,000 hours for the Xerix Champion Cape. The current world record for maxing an account is 771 hours, performed by Boxjong. By comparing those times, it looks like the CM Cape takes longer. It's not exactly a fair comparison though, because you need to spend loads of GP and run alts to max an account that fast.
Yeah.
I would say using a more average efficiency maxing, both of them take about the same amount of time. So is the LMS Cape longer than these two? It depends on how skilled you are or how fast you can learn. Some people might be lucky to win 1 out of every 100 games or so. The best people can easily grab 2 wins an hour like it's nothing. So it might be like a 500-hour grind. But I know a guy who played 7,912 games for his cape. He started...
I didn't know that there was such a big skill expression in this game. I really didn't. And that's not rage bait. I genuinely thought RuneScape was just buying GF, stand and click for damage, and then like scamming. That's it. But there is a lot more to it than that.
From scratch though, barely being able to play to finally getting decent. That means at 6 games an hour, it took him over 1,300 hours. But for this next grind, you don't get anything out of it besides a place on the high score list. For those who don't know, 200 million XP is the maximum XP you can get in any skill once you've hit 99. If we used an XP rate of 2,000 hours per 30 million XP, I'd estimate it that it takes over 30,000 hours to get 200 million XP in all skills. That's about 3.5 years with current XP rates, which, you know, doesn't actually sound that bad. But if I were watching this video, there'd be one last thing I'd want to know about: third age. So how long does it actually take to get? You'd need to do 31,375 master clues to hit any specific piece of third age. Using the best rate to collect clues without breaking the bank is 10 manning Callisto in the deep wilderness. By doing that, it takes over 26,000 hours to hit a specific piece of third age. To greenlog third age, you would need to do an expected 117,163 master clues. That's 97 hours, or about 11 years. I have no words. Doing dragon implings.
What kind of situation in life do you have to be to do that? What, like 97,000 chat, not 97. What, where are you in life where you decide, you know what, I'm gonna start this, and I'm gonna just see how long it takes? That's insane. Pain, I guess, a streamer? Not even streamers, bro. Like, this is ridiculous. Nobody does that? Do you think that, Mende? Oh, helvede altså! I got 40 permits, by the way, chat. Sorry. I got 40 permits, chat. We're gonna have like around 60 by the time we're done reacting.
This would take about 7 years of real-world playtime, but good luck with that. I think I'll be touching grass instead. However, the longest grind isn't any of the ones we've mentioned. So what now? What can be worse than all of the ridiculous stuff we've talked about so far? It's for a piece of bread. I'm serious. Really? The grind for the stale baguette is likely the longest grind in the game. How many times have you been AFK and a random event shows up? Imagine doing that once and then needing to wait another 10,000 hours because you missed your chance. Of all the grinds, this is the one you kind of just hope to get along the way. Some of the longest grinds are the ones you don't expect to take so long. It's in those—
Wait, why? What's about the baguette? I have a baguette? I got stale baguette today. They increased the drop rate of the stale baguette. This series is making me want to play old school RuneScape. Man, it's really fun. Dude, Manda, you know what we could do? We could go meet up for a fishing event, like stream whatever, IRL, and then we could fish also on our phones on RuneScape. So we could double team the fishing.
Those moments of despair during a long grind that many of us learned patience and determination. Attributes we've been blessed to apply to the real world. Damn. Good luck on your grinds, fellow scapers, and until next time, I'll see you in game. That was a fun video. I actually really like watching this. I hope you guys did too. I'll link it here to the chat. Check out the channel, obviously. Wilderness Watch. Awesome video. Awesome dude. There it is. I'll link it there, chat, okay?